Hey there folks, welcome back to Elemental Cartomancy. So it's Chris here and I'm coming on with a walkthrough. This is going to be a walkthrough of the Unfolding Path Tarot by ATHENE NOCTUA, or ATHENE NOCTUA. I'm not quite sure how it's pronounced. This is a deck that was indie only until very recently. Hay House have made a mass market version of it. And I ordered it online and I got it last week, I think. But I'm just getting round to actually using it and doing a walkthrough of it. So this is a deck that's really, there's some similarities between this and the Lightseers deck. And if anyone knows me and has, heard me harp on about the Lightseers Tarot, you'll know that it's my favourite deck. It's the one that I kind of work best with. So I'm really excited to work with this one and explore whether the connection that I have with this deck is like the one that I've got with Lightseers. We'll see. So without further ado, let's maybe zoom out just a smidge. Maybe a slightly bigger smidge than that. That's a bit better. Okay. So first of all, the box. So if you've got the mass market Lightseers, that is Hay House as well, and it's got the same kind of a box. It's a two-part box. I had that upside down. Good sturdy box. It does the job, keeps the cards safe. There's not much more to be said. The deck comes with a guidebook, and I normally refer to these as like a medium white book. It's not quite a big chunky full-on guidebook, but it's bigger than a little white book. So this is the contents. We get some good information, a good intro, some information in tarot basics. You're using the Unfolding Path Tarot as where we get our tarot spreads, and there's quite a few in there that are quite good, or that at least look quite good. I've not tried them yet. At the end we'll maybe have a look at this Path to Self-Love spread. And then for each of the cards we get a full page of information. And just as an example, let's just stop somewhere. The world, let's look at the world. So we get keywords: completion, wholeness, fulfillment, integration, attainment, harmony, cycle ending, and contentment. And then the arrival of the world card is a message of satisfaction, achievement, wholeness, and completion. A long-held goal may be attained, or there could be a recent marriage, graduation, or new birth. An important aspect of your life has now or will soon come full cycle. There will be closure at the ending. There will be closure and the ending of a cycle. This brings contentment while still being bittersweet. As one cycle ends, a new one begins. You may need to take active steps to ensure the successful completion indicated by this card. Take time to celebrate your success. I like so see at the end of each entry there's like a wee one-liner that basically sums up the card. So another example, the sun, the one-liner is: happiness is contagious, spread it to everyone you meet. Judgment, it's time to forgive yourself and find the path forward. I like these wee one-liners, I think they're really cool. I don't see that it actually describes the image and the card. I suppose, looking at I think that's the Nine of Wands there. You are battered and bruised, but still standing. The images in the card speak for themselves, is what I would say. But if you do like a kind of an explanation of the image and why that's been chosen, we might not necessarily be getting this in this book, which is fair enough. It's a smaller book, isn't it? The cards. So it's a nice kind of a chunky deck. Nice kind of a bright white sides. These are the backs, and as a size comparison, so compared to US games, the size is the same. The only thing that's different is the corners are a lot more rounded in this deck than what we typically tend to see. I'll just show you a comparison there. So you can see that the corner rounder that was used here is much bigger than the Centennial Smithwaite. But yeah, I really like it. It seems quite, easy to manage. We'll see how it shuffles and riffle shuffles later on. So let's take some time to do a wee flip through. I didn't talk of the cardstock. So the cardstock is matte. It's nice soft matte. Kind of like again like the Light Sears Tarot, or any other kind of a deck like that from Hay House. Easy enough to manage. It's nice enough to work with. It's not sticky or anything like that. So it's a good kind of a matte cardstock. But it's like I said, it's nice and thick, and cards will probably be quite durable. Some of my first impressions just from doing the the flip through for you. I love how each of the suits is like the backgrounds are color coded, so you can see you've got a kind of a red theme going on there for the wands, and then we go to the cups and we get this blue. The swords appear more a kind of so cups is a kind of a light bluey green. The swords turns to kind of a dark bluish blackish almost. And then our earth suit is a kind of a nice earth tones, browns, kind of a colours. So yeah, that's really nice. It's really nice to see the the age diversity in this deck. That's one thing that I think when people try to make their products diverse, age is sometimes something that's missed. But we can see that we've got people of all different kind of ages in this deck. Hermit there. It's beautiful. It's a really kind of a well done, beautiful deck, I think. I don't even think there's anything that I don't like at first glance. I did wonder some of there's one of the cards here, that page of discs. I'm not sure why he's looking quite so surprised. Looks a wee bit like he's gambled on a fart and lost, as my husband likes to say. But still a handsome guy. Can't complain. I've heard some people say about this deck feels more feminine than masculine. I mean, I don't know. I do see a lot of masculine representation across the deck. I've not sat and counted, the number of masculine presenting, feminine presenting, and non-binary presenting people, but it feels like there's a good there's a good balance there, I think. Let's have a look at how the deck shuffles then. So overhanded is going to be fine because of the size. It's your standard size, therefore, as long as you're fine handling normal size tarot cards, you'll be fine handling this deck. Let's see about the riffle. So it's not as stiff as I remember the Light Seers being when I first got it. It can be riffle shuffled relatively easily, but it doesn't riffle as nicely as like a Llewellyn deck, for example. That's a nice thinner cardstock. But as you can see, it riffle shuffles and overhands just fine. So however you choose to shuffle your cards, I'm sure you're going to get on fine with this. Another thing that I'm going to note, and this is just before I go on to doing the spread, I've noticed that my King of Pentacles card has come kind of a damaged. I don't know if you can really see it there. It's not as bad now that I've been shuffling for a bit, but it's just the edge is a wee bit thingied up. Funnily enough, the same can be said for my Light Seers deck. This card so it's the King of Pentacles and this, and it's also the King of Pentacles and the Light Seers that's slightly damaged, and I think it's because it's the card that's sitting last at the bottom of the deck. Must be something to do with the way that Hay House either like packaged them, or maybe it's that when they wrap that band around it, it just seems to cause like slight damage to the card that's sitting on the back. So that's just something that I would note. I'm wondering if anybody else has noticed the same thing with any of their Hay House decks. Let me know in the comments if you have. It might be something that we can kind of give them the heads up about, although they must know. In terms of a spread, I was going to do the Path to Self-Love spread, so I'm going to let you see it's 4 cards in a row. This spread is great for self-reflection. If you're on a journey of self-discovery and want to find your most fulfilling way of being in this world, make this a regular check-in spread. Okay, and we can see what the 4 prompts are: what fulfills me, what grounds me, what heals me, and what helps me blossom. So I'm going to keep that there just so I can keep my eye on it in case I need to refer back. probably terrible memory, so I'll probably forget the prompts. But yeah, just because I've pulled that king out, it feels I need to give these another good shuffle. So okay. Okay, so the first prompt was, what fulfills me? Okay, we've got the magician. Okay. So I suppose that could be, you know, asserting yourself using your skill. I'm saying you. I should really. This is a personal spread. I should be talking in the first person, shouldn't I? So for me, maybe this is when I can demonstrate my skills. It's when I'm in my element and I'm doing the things that I know that I'm good at, which is true. You know, I'm one of these people who, if I'm not very good at something, I tend to get really bored with it really fast, which I know isn't one of my best traits. I'm just going to zoom this out as I'm talking so as we can see all the cards we've got all four. But yeah, I noticed that recently, last week we went to the driving range. There's a new driving range opened up near me, and I tried, you know, a driving range for golf, and I tried hitting a couple of balls, and I was rubbish at it. Like really, I was lucky if I could even hit the ball with a club. And I only hit three, and I was like, no, I've done this, I've had enough. You know, I said to my husband, you just keep going, I'm clearly not very good at this. So I do tend to give up easy when I don't feel that I'm very good at something. On the flip side though, when I feel as though you know, when I'm quite proud of what I'm doing, so for example, you know, if I'm reading cards, you know, if I feel as though I'm in my element and I'm enjoying what I'm doing, another example is my art. I've been painting with acrylics recently. I've really been enjoying that because I'm quite, you know, quite satisfied with the results that I'm producing. So what fulfills me when I'm in my element, when I feel as though I'm skilled at what I'm doing and I can kind of there's maybe a wee show offy element to it, you know, the magician derives from that kind of a street magician type image, you know, like bringing people in and putting on a show for them, so there's a wee bit of an ego in it as well, I guess. The second prompt, what grounds me, so what keeps me down to earth. The Two of Swords, that's interesting. So for me, the Two of Swords is choices, difficult choices. Okay, so when I've got to stop and think about something, when I've got to stop and consider the different possibilities. So Swords card is the you know, the mental kind of a suit. So when I've actually got to stop and consider the, you know, the intellect behind it, when I've got to think and plan and consider the way ahead, you know, when everything's not handed to me on a silver platter, when I'm made to kind of hold my horses and actually make a decision on something, that's what grounds me. The third prompt, what heals me. Okay, so when I'm in need of healing, what heals me. Another sword card, the Eight of Swords. Okay, so again, that's quite interesting because it's not a really very healing kind of card, is it? But I suppose we often look at this as being trapped and being held in one place and not being allowed to move on. Usually the message that we give with this card is, in actual fact, she's not trapped. She could get up, she could walk around the swords. We can kind of see in the picture there's room for her to move around. But if we're looking at it with as in what heals me, maybe it is sometimes just kind of having the need to stay in one place, having the need to stop moving about, stop kind of, I suppose it's a thinking suit again, it's the mental suit, so maybe it's not so much about physical movement, but it's about overthinking. So when I'm forced to stop that, right, when that gets shut down and it's almost like my thoughts, my brain has been made to almost stay in one place and kind of a process what's going on before moving on. So that can be quite healing, which I mean, I'm sure, you know, I'm sure we can all relate to that. Then what helps me blossom, you know, what helps me grow? We've got King of Cups. So this is about relationships with other people. To me, the King is the, you know, he's the in charge of the suit to a degree. He's got the social responsibility aspect of it. And then the cups is an emotional suit. It's a sort of connection to other people. So when to me that's what helps me grow, what makes me blossom, or whatever the prompt was. It's my connections to other people. It's interacting with other people. It's when I'm managing that kind of my social interactions, my friendships and stuff like that, connecting with those people, and really kind of bouncing ideas off of people. Um, that is what helps me grow as a person. Um, and yeah, I mean, yeah, that's me down to a T really. So there we go. That was just a quick, to show you a quick example to show you what the cards look like laid out, how they read. I'll lay down some more quickly before we call it a day. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Take care, and I shall see you all later. Bye bye.